I can sit during though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hello and welcome to season 3 of Get Carried Away. And I have a very, very special guest with me today. I'm so excited that you are going to be my first episode of season 3 because when I met you, I knew immediately I needed to be best friends with you. I knew I needed you to speak at my Wealthy Women Summit. I knew I needed you in the broad metasphere. And here you are, finally a guest on Get Carried Away. Everyone, please welcome my first guest of the season, Andrea Quinn. Yay. Andrea is a fantastic empowerment coach for leaders. Actually, I would say for anybody, just entrepreneurs, because I've taken your workshop and there were entrepreneurs there. There were new moms, there were retirees there. Everyone was blown away by it. And we're going to get into it, but more than just leaders, you meet at the needs of everybody. So I love that. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I couldn't wait to be part of this, and how much I love your community and everything you've created, and that we've kind of cross-pollinated our communities now. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Now, my first question is, if I would have asked 10-year-old Andrea back in the day, and I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? Would she have said an empowerment coach?
No, but I would have said teacher.
Oh,
I really always loved teaching.
okay.
I didn't want to be in teaching in schools per se, but teaching was always something that was the first thing I remember saying. I used to, I didn't play with dolls very much, but I played with stuffed animals. So
Mhm.
I was going to be a veterinarian, but then I found out that they also die. So
Yes.
that stopped it, right? Like that was it. But I used to put my animals in a circle and sit on my bed and ask them how they were feeling.
You had circle time.
So maybe I was going to be a therapist too, but I didn't know it. So
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So that's still kind of in the realm, not an
but I did.
astronaut or a ballet dancer,
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah. Teacher.
That. It's very sweet. And you are very natural as a former principal. I can spot a good teacher, like within the first 3 minutes of being in their presence. Oh, you're a good teacher. And the reason why I think what makes you a good teacher, and I think you're more a teacher than a coach or traditional coach, is your ability to listen. You have an amazing, astounding ability to take in information, process it, and then really reflect back what you heard. I don't know if you know that, but you do it so, so naturally. Where do you think that comes from? Is that something you were always like as a kid? Did that develop through experience? Where do you think your ability to be such a good listener came from?
I think growing up sometimes, listening for, whatever family you grew up in or whatever it is, learning to navigate. I think learning to navigate life, you like really getting that, oh, I didn't see that or I didn't hear that coming.
Yeah.
And I think learning to navigate is probably what began my journey with listening. But I just believe that it's important. And plus, I always wanted to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was just the two of those things together.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. Now I want to get into your book, The Quintessentials, which is an amazing title. There it is. And we're going to put a link to it in the show notes.
Thank you.
You can get it on all the fabulous places you buy books, and it's almost available at Audible, right?
Yep. And I think it's going to be released, fingers crossed. It's scheduled to be released on International Women's Day on
I love that.
May.
Wow. Did you do the audio yourself or did you have an actor?
No,
Oh, good. I
it's
love
my
it when authors do it.
book. I'm bossy. I have to do it myself. Yeah, my own voice. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, that's great. Well, tell us what brought you to the book. Like, tell us, I don't want to give everything away, but there are 9 key quintessentials.
Yes.
They're very, very important. I try to practice receiving every day.
Good. So important, right?
I wake up every day, just like you taught us, to say, I am grateful to be awake today. I have gratitude for this new day, and I'm willing and open to receiving. You still, that long ago, I still have my brain trained to do that. How did you develop the 9 quintessentials?
Actually, it was really interesting. It was, first of all, it was developed within a meditation practice, first and foremost. And it was really the road to my own personal healing. And I figured if it could work on me, it could work on anybody. And so I really began a meditation practice, which first and foremost was very difficult for me because I have a very active mind.
Mhm.
And so to be silent was very hard, but I knew that I had to do it because if I didn't, things weren't going great for me at that time in my life. And I was like, okay, I got to get it together here. And everybody's like, you got to meditate, you got to meditate. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I tried. So then I started this meditation practice, and then literally you actually receive information when you're meditating. Who knew? I mean, this is why they've been telling us this for centuries. You actually receive guidance. And so literally this roadmap, if you will,
Wow.
showed up for me, and each one, and then I would go, where did that come from? So I'd go Google and I'd be like, nobody's talking about this. This is crazy. And then the next one and the next one. And then pretty soon it just became this cyclical kind of, as you know, program where it's 9 tools. First 4 is inner work, right? To take out in the world. Second 4 is what you do in the world and bring it back to you. And then the last one kind of ties them together. And then my belief is inside out, outside in, it's a balanced female. And when we're balanced, we're unstoppable. It's
Amen.
when we're off balance or something just knocks us, out of, off our axis, if you will. Once we have tools like this, we can get ourselves back and know exactly. And I have people that tell me this all the time. I got some wonderful letters from women. I've been teaching this since 2008. So I've had thousands of women all over the world take this curriculum and apply it. And I've had people that sent me that I haven't talked to in years that said, these tools saved me during COVID.
Wow.
I wasn't receiving. There were things I couldn't let go of.
Yeah.
Things I wasn't asking for. Like, and they said it really reminded them. And that really was like, wow,
Yeah. That's powerful. That's really powerful. Who would you say, who is the ideal person to come to this workshop? Because I know people are listening are going to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'm fine. I'm just kind of getting through it. But who do you see in your audience when you have your
women,
workshops? Women.
breathing women. I have women in all walks of life, as you remember from the workshop, every walk of life, wherever they are in their lives, this actually has helped them. I've had CEOs who tell me, oh my God, I'd be chairman of the board if I would have done this. I have people who are deciding to change their careers. I have new moms. I have young people getting out of college. Everyone needs a toolkit.
Yeah.
And so ideally, now the average age group in mine is usually like, I'd say 35 to 55 is the average there. But in general, there is, it's really just women who want a toolkit that they can have access to for anything that comes up in their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when you're in your 20s, you know it all, right? So
I did.
I know I did. Now, by the time I hit 29, I was like, wait, what?
I know.
I don't know shit. I don't, what's happening with this world? Like,
Isn't that true? I know. I always say that I would have loved to have gone from 19 to 30.
yeah.
Like if I could have skipped all that, it would have been great for me.
Yeah. It's the lost decade. If you're
It is.
listening and you're a Gen Zer, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Yeah.
We accept all.
We
But we
do.
don't want to be 24 again.
No.
No.
Isn't it funny when some people say that? There's like, oh, I wish I could go back. I'm like, whoa, not me.
No, I was just making foolish decisions based on a narcissist I was dating. So, but having dated that narcissist, I really realized, oh, I need to prioritize myself.
Correct. And we don't realize that. But then the younger people are called narcissists when they do prioritize themselves versus being narcissists. So I think that it's important that they do work like this so that they understand self-empowerment is not narcissism.
Yes. Yes.
So
And I'm not sure where are we taught that as women, that we're being selfish, or, is it patriarchal? Is it what are we watching on media? Because a lot of the women, when I was there in the workshop, first had to deal with the fact of, am I worthy to even be at this, to prioritize me? How do you see women like overcome that first hurdle? How do you help them? Like, you are worth it.
Yeah, it's just imparting as much truth for them and holding a space that they'll ultimately get it. Like sometimes just that glimmer of, oh, that's really me. I'm amazing. Like just a moment of that. And I think you saw that where some women
Oh
were
yeah.
like, I'm like amazing here. And I think it also comes from the questions we ask ourselves, right? If we ask ourselves all the time, um, how do I get better at this? That implies that you're not good at something.
Yeah.
Instead of, what am I good at and how do I expand that? What's my strategic plan in the expansion of my gifts? That's a much better
Ooh,
question,
yes.
right? Then you're not missing anything there. And so for women, it's that list of where we don't measure up. And we're so clear about that because we think, well, if we just do that, then we'll be like her and she looks fabulous on Instagram. And
Mhm.
the truth is, it's not the truth.
Yeah. If I just, right? We say, if I just had this, if I just do this, when I lose 30 pounds, when I'm,
And I have this much money, and they'll realize that that money, the money doesn't matter.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just a vehicle. It's just, what I love. Tony Robbins has that saying, which is, money just helps you get to your problems in style. Have you ever heard that? I
No,
love
I haven't. That's clever. Well,
like
that's true.
it is.
Biggie Small said, more money, more problems.
More money. I said that yesterday. I was on a podcast for money yesterday, and I said that more money, more problems. Right.
Yeah. And when you were at the Wealthy Women Summit, you so brilliantly talked about receiving and women being open to receiving. Why are we blocked from receiving? What, especially money. When we talked about receiving money, we're kind of like even me, my first instinct was like, oh, I'm not worth this much. They're overpaying me or whatever. And this is when I was like first starting out. Why do women struggle? Sorry. Why do women struggle with receiving in all your years of doing this?
I think it's because we're taught that if the more we give, the more we love, the more we'll be accepted.
Mm,
And I always say to people, how's that working for you? It doesn't, you know? I mean, the more you give, the more tired you are because guess who shows up? The takers,
yeah.
and when you start receiving, the givers show up. And then that makes us uncomfortable. Like, whoa, I don't know if I want to do that because I kind of feel like I have no control. Like I'm controlling it all when I'm giving, but it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
And so it's not an in breath and an out breath. It's not a balanced way of living. And women, we need control because we're afraid, right?
Mhm.
So giving is a form of control. And they think, oh no, I'm just a giver. Oh, you are. And you like controlling the narrative because it makes you uncomfortable if other people don't, when other people do rather. So I think that's what started it, but it's those things like it's better to give than receive. Who wrote that? A man,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the truth. Once I actually fully receive, I can actually really give. Then it's not about obligation anymore. I've just taken that in breath. I've brought in what I need to me, and then I can give fully. And I don't think you can truly give without yourself in the equation first. And it's just learning how to do that, which is what we talk about in my
Practice. Yeah. And it does take practice.
practice. Oh,
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like meditation, just like anything that's going to improve. You're not going to do it on the first shot. I did it.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah. That's why it's a yoga practice. That's why it's a meditation practice, but it is receiving is a practice. And sometimes I know my mother worked full time and she would give everything to her, her boss, give everything to us kids, give everything to her marriage, like dinner was on the table, but she was exhausted, cranky, and irritable, pretty much. I'd say from like second grade to high school. And then she was dealing with a teenager. So that's okay. But it was very much, she was the oldest daughter among 5 siblings. So it was how she was raised. And it was just, this is how she thought she was showing love. And it wasn't until I was in college that I was like, can you just stop? And like, let's just sit and be together and don't feel you need to cook me something or, fix something or something. It was very hard for her to practice. And she did not start this until her 60s
Right.
because she was exhausted.
Yeah. And we're more tired than ever as women. And we're getting sicker at younger ages.
Yeah.
The average cancer rate is so much younger than it was in the 70s and 80s. And so as we as women have taken our power and become forces in the world, nobody gave us a take care of yourself manual when we were doing it. And so this has been a trial and error from different generations. And hopefully we will learn that balance of self-care, which is.
Yeah. It's self-care is not just a buzzword, everybody, like organic. Like it really needs to be a priority, like really like now. Because you're right, women are getting sicker younger, but we're living longer. So it's like we're going to live a long, healthy life. We need to start taking care of.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So when you're looking out in your workshop and you see a room full of, 50, and just waiting women who are just with bated breath, teach me the quintessentials, how do you get everyone so jazzed up? How do you get people excited? Because the energy that's in this room really comes off of you. Like what is it that you just, what is your secret sauce to getting people jazzed up at your conferences? Because I've been to a lot of conferences, workshops, what have you, and they're snooze fests. But you, what is your magic? Tell me the magic.
Well, I think that the women that are there are my magic. I am so excited to and privileged that they would choose me for the weekend to sit there and really it just makes my heart open, right? And so I am so excited that I get the opportunity to support them and to hopefully change their lives. That excitement, I think, is what maybe is a little contagious. But I feel like it's a Mobius of energy. And I feel like the women that are drawn to my workshop, though everybody's so different, right? Everybody was so different. They had a very open mind and an open heart before they walked in the door. And I have people who teach, like look at all the conferences you've been to, but when you walked in the door, you were resigned to like, okay, let me see what's here for me. And that kind of curiosity is just like a little crack. I just need a crack. I just need a crack. And when I get a crack, boom, we're going to go wide open. But for me, I'm excited because I see what's possible for them too.
Yeah.
And
you see the transformation, like the transformation that happens in a very quick time. Even by the end of day one, I was in the car ride home with Jen, and we were just like, what about talking away? Why don't we do this more? And you're right. We just need to prioritize self-care. We're making massage appointments right now. Like it's really exciting and really engaging. And you're right. When you look around, you don't necessarily see yourself. But what we all kind of had in common was we were ready to make ourselves a priority, and we were ready for you to be our guide. And you do an amazing job of holding some of our hands, maybe giving us a mirror, or just like, wake up, smacking us upside the head. You do a great job of meeting everyone where they're at, which is not easy. We've all been to conferences where it's like, off the shelf. Here you go. It's off the shelf. One size fits all. Yours is a whole kaleidoscope of sizing and meeting people where you're at. So bravo to you for doing that. It's really, really powerful. Tell me about what people can expect at the at the conference? Because now I think they're really curious.
Oh, well, I think that they can expect, number one, to not have to do anything they don't want to do,
Okay.
which I
Love
totally,
that.
I always used to hate. Hi, I'm Andrea and I'm from Sam, and I have a little name badge. No, I don't care. If you don't want to tell me, you don't have to tell me. I love
Mhm.
women that don't have to do anything they don't want to do, which is a big deal because their whole lives they always have to do it. Second of all, I think that they are, I think no matter what they've done, how many even books they've written, they all go, whoa, I never looked at it like that. So I think um, they'll receive a shift in perception,
Mhm.
which always empowers us. And I think they'll also uh, get another lens. I really do believe that no one sees themselves or women the same after those 2 days.
I
So,
completely agree. I actually look at my work differently after your workshop and what I'm approaching and what I'm prioritizing. And is this going to serve me? Is this going to be profitable for my business? I definitely pause more, and going through your book was a great, you know, like, because I didn't finish the book until after the workshop. So when I finished it, I was like, like it was this huge eye opener, like so many aha moments. It's so unbelievably powerful what you've put together. But I think what you've also done is you've created a very safe space for it, for
mhm.
that exploration of yourself, for to be vulnerable. I mean, we had women crying, we had women quiet in the corner, but everyone felt very, very safe, which is also not easy to do. And like I mentioned before we started recording, I was just at a conference where it was just sell, 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 sell. You don't do that. I'm telling everyone right now, because everyone knows I hate that. You make the conference about the attendees. You've kind of flipped the script on how we develop and how we learn. It's about the person there, not about you. You're just delivering the information. So bravo to you for that.
You.
Anybody listening knows that I hate those conferences where they sell, 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 sell. Buy this, buy this, buy this. Um, but so by the end of it, what happens after after the 2 days? Are you like, peace out?
No, well, we have our community. People
Hmm.
are welcome to join all they want. I do jump on and do a few Zooms with people and try to extend the experience. But what's so interesting to me is I really don't know anybody that hasn't made a friend from there. That's not like them. They're like, I would have never thought, or she's nothing like me, but I really connected and I can't believe this. Or there's an extension, there's a community. And one of the things that I love about women's communities is when we branch out, when we cross pollinate with other communities. Because I have women that I said, you got to come with me to the bra. You got to do the bra network as well. And I met someone in my community who told me about you and
Yeah.
said, you got to come and be with her. And then there's, all these other wonderful women's groups. And then, I have women that, are all over the world. And so someone's like, oh, come stay with me in London, or someone's going to stay with someone in Australia, or, they just opened themselves up to people and different than them
Yeah,
without judgment. And that's a big deal.
it really is. I mean, that's how I met Vicky from Dapper Boy. How else will I have ever have met Vicky? And clothing designers aren't in my stratosphere. So to meet someone who was from San Diego, and then we found out we had two people in common. So it is amazing the connection that comes from that. And you do cultivate that really well post conference, which is great. The other thing I wanted to ask you is if you wouldn't mind giving us the explanation of a snippet.
Oh, okay. So a snippet. Okay. So when you study visualization, right, there's that wonderful book, Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain, which goes back to the 70s. And it's a big deal. And because all the great people understand that visualizing is important. So, and there's that saying, if you can't see it, you can't be it, right?
Mhm.
You have to create a visualization. But I started doing the work where we create snippets, little tiny moments we want to experience. And then we share it with somebody. So you have like, okay, so I'm walking down and I'm wearing this and I'm sitting there and they say yes and they give me a signing bonus and a book or whatever it is you really want in your life. And you create it. I mean, I've had women who have created their weddings, and they don't even have anybody that they're interested in yet, but they
Mhm.
know that that's what they want. And so they go to create that moment in time so clearly, and we get to see it for them. You share it with someone you know that you actually like. Uh, and because people are like, oh, I want you to hear something, and you don't want to share it with somebody like, why would you want to do that? You know what I mean?
Right,
No,
exactly.
it's the ones like, yes, I see that for you. I want that for you too, right? So that's what a snippet is, a moment in time for you to create a piece of magic for you to not only experience, but for someone who cares about you to experience with you so that you can expand it. And boy, it just, I mean, they're so great to do
Yes.
and so much fun. And even snippet parties. I think I told you about that. I
You
mean,
did mention that.
where women just show up and sometimes say in our community, hey, I'm having a snippet party. Even if you don't know them, you show up in a circle and launch your dreams, and in front of a group of strangers, and you just go, hey, I want to do that. In the older days when we did this, we launched in front of a group of strangers.
Right.
Nowadays we don't do that. We don't have that time. And so now it's like a one-on-one thing, which is
Mhm.
it's great and it feels really safe. um but it's great to have a party and have everyone share their dreams versus everyone sharing gossip.
Oh, you mean like a book club? I think that's called a book club.
Yes. Or everyone sharing what's not working in the world. Or can you believe this? No.
Yeah.
I love the line, would you see this for me, please? And then you launch. And then you go, a bunch of women go, yes, girl. Yes, I want that for you. Then the next girl goes, she says, I want you guys to see this for me. And then boom, she launches. And it's like, oh, yes, I want that for you. And you go around. You imagine how that room is buzzing by the end of the night?
Mhm.
That's how we as women are going to change this world, not tearing things apart.
Yep. Okay. So I have something I want you to see for me.
Okay. Okay.
I have been sitting on releasing carriemurray.com for about a year because of an horrible amount of imposter syndrome. But recently, it's now ready. So I would like for you to see for me launching the website, putting it out there, being proud of it, and not hiding anymore.
I see that for you. And I see it very big and very pink.
Yes.
It's like
How'd you guess?
for me in my mind, it was like a pink firework.
I love that.
What I saw. I wish that for you.
Thank you. I will accept that. I will receive that.
Perfect.
The
Perfect.
Quinn
Now,
Essentials.
now I want everyone who's watching this podcast or listening to see it for you too.
Yes, please. Everyone listening or watching on YouTube, please visualize me launching, hitting that launch button on carriemurray.com and then go check it out.
Do you have a date yet? Do you have a date yet?
No,
Just
but
make
let's,
sure Mercury's not in retrograde. That's all
yeah,
I'm saying.
I don't think Mercury's in retrograde for like another couple months.
Till April, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. P.S. Everybody listening, Andrea is also a really good astrologer. I
It's my
saw you wrote that on your form. Tell me how you got into that.
it's my dirty little secret. Well, my mother is really into astrology. To this day, I call her every morning, which I have my whole life, and she reads me my horoscope
Ah, when's
every
your,
morning. Every
when's
morning.
your birthday?
I'm a Cancer,
Hmm.
7/7, luckiest day of the year. I used to say when I was little. Um, and and so my mom was like, "Oh, he's into astrology," and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go to this guy, and he's a Libra." Oh, why would you want to do that? He's a Libra. You're not going to have it. I'm like, okay, like I can't with you. So if I was going to learn again how to navigate, I had to learn to speak the language and get around it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I became really interested in it, and it's kind of been like a dirty little secret of mine for many, many years.
I love it. I think you should say it loud and proud. Um, I'm an Aquarius and I have a lot of friends who are Cancers because I'm up in the clouds and Cancers help me see the ground.
And my best friend's an Aquarius.
That's right. That's right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Now, really quick, before we get carried away, tell us about all the places we can find you, how we can sign up for this wonderful, wonderful workshop, and when is your TED Talk?
Okay, well, I'm actually working right now with some coaches. There are coaches that actually help you with TED Talks.
Oh my
So I'm
gosh.
actually carving one up right now as we speak. So once it's completed, then I will start signing up for the places that I feel that I need to go. So yes, I'm currently
It.
working with somebody, this wonderful team, this man and this woman that are great at it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is my workshop is March 25th and 26th, Beverly Hills.
Okay.
It's 2 days, we're done by 5 on the first day and done by 3:30 on the second day. But so you still can have your dinners or whatever you need to do. You can find me on AndreaQuinnCoaching.com. Andrea Quinn Coaching on my Instagram. And then there's also a discount for a bra. It's called Bra 100, gets you $100 off.
Love that. Thank
All
you.
one word, bra, BRA 100.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and then they can find my book on the Quinn Essentials on Amazon, and also Audible pretty soon. So
love it. Love it. Thank you so much.
At bra events, because
Yes, absolutely.
I go to those.
Yeah. And you're incredible presence to have there. I will put all of this in the show notes. So if you're driving right now, don't pull out your phone and say, I got to click on this link. Just park, then click on the link and then purchase. Let's keep it safe, everybody. Yeah. And again, I can't reiterate enough how much it was so nice, as a leader of a community, going to your workshop and being not in charge. I didn't have to know where the chairs had to go. I didn't have to plan for the lunches or anything. I just got to show up. It was lovely.
I'm glad you did. And that's how I feel when I show up at one of yours too.
Wasn't it nice?
To receive here. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I love it. All right, let's get carried away.
Okay.
Tell me 3 things you're absolutely obsessed with. Maybe something a new hobby you learned during COVID. Maybe it's puppies, tacos. What's 3 things you just love to get carried away about?
I love to get carried away about my dogs and my cats. I'm an animal cat. And so, I have shiny object syndrome. So when my husband I don't cook. So my husband does all the cooking, and so he'll say, hey, can you put on a pot of water? And I really wanted to put on that pot of water, but then the cat did something really cute, and then the dog ran over here. And so I'm obsessed with my animals. So that's me. I'm no good. I also am carried away with wine.
Ooh.
I'm a sommelier in my own mind.
Oh, any particular varietal?
Bordeaux's, but I'm an equal opportunity wine drinker. You name, I love them, but I study it. Like that's what I did in COVID. I started studying really. I thought I was good then, but then I had extra time, and so why not drink more and study it more? So during COVID, so that's what I did. So wine is something I get carried away with.
Love that. Love that. Ooh, I get carried away about wine as well. I was just in Santa Barbara wine tasting with my mother. It was delicious. A lot of Pinot Noirs there. Have you ever gone wine tasting there?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
It's really good. I mean,
Beautiful.
I make it a point to go. I'm actually going next week wine tasting in Napa. So I absolutely am obsessed.
Love it.
You know why? Because I love magic and it's alchemy. I mean, there's a little tiny grape, and the next thing you know, it's in this incredible thing. It's like, it's just pure magic. So.
It is magic.
Yeah.
It's magical. I learned something this last time I went wine tasting. We went to a tasting room that was all champagne, and as he was pouring it, he said, there's one phrase you have to remember with champagne: tiny bubbles, tiny troubles; big bubbles, big troubles. Because if the champagne you're having has big, huge gas bubbles, it's all going to go to your head and give you a headache, and don't drink it. I was like, oh, good to know.
Good to know. I will be taking that with me. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. And it was really good champagne too. Shout out to Riverbench champagne in Santa Barbara. Very, very yummy. And then my opposite side of that is, give me 2 or 3 things that people are obsessed with, that people get so carried away about, but you can't wrap your head around it. You don't get it. I'll give you an example. I never want to go camping. Not once. Nope. Not a camper. I don't get it. I don't know why people want to go outdoors with bears and snakes when there's a beautiful hotel right there.
I'm that girl.
Yes.
I get it. Okay, so 3 things that I feel that people are carried away with. Right now, I can't stand how everybody is politicizing everything. Everything
Amen.
is not political. We have no business politicizing everything. Everything is within our control and it's actually probably spiritual, not
Yeah.
political. And the truth is, people, this is just opinion after opinion after opinion after opinion. And I just say, you know what? I can't stand that. You know what?
Yeah.
You do you, I'll do me. Just because I have something to say is not a political statement. So
Right.
don't politicize me. That's one thing I can't stand right now. Okay.
Love that.
Okay. Can't stand it. Another thing that I can't stand is fruit in food. Like everybody's like, I don't know what it is. We're going to put more rice in our raisins in our rice, or they're putting like who thought like, let's make a Chinese chicken salad. Oh, I know, mandarin oranges. Let's just drop it. Like I can't stand it. And people are just, and they're adding, you notice they're adding more like apples to things. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm
Or
out.
peaches on pizza. I've
Oh,
seen peaches on.
and even the pineapple on, I can't, but
Yeah.
yeah, fruit and food. No, can't stand it. And another thing that, well, obviously there's a few things that I can't stand. And I can't stand, maybe non-listeners. I think
Oh,
that's a big thing. Since you said that I'm a listener,
yeah.
just people that won't listen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, why not listen? You don't have to agree, but at least listen.
Oh, yes. That's very, very true. There's a lot of people that hear a lot, but they're not listening.
Yeah. So those are 3 of my.
I love that. Nobody has ever had any of those responses. You're 3 for 3. So I love it. Way to kick off the first season. I mean, my 3rd season with 3 new ones. A lot of people say like Grey's Anatomy, or, I don't like kombucha or social media. I get that one a lot. Like I hate social media. But those are,
I do too, though. I do. I
I
hate it,
know.
but I have to. We all do.
We all do. It's like going to the dentist. Nobody likes it, but I mean, it works. I mean,
Right.
it's preventative care.
That's great. I didn't have to use that one when somebody tells me that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do your social media. Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it, or hire somebody. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Andrea, for getting carried away with me. You've given us so much wisdom and so much excitement. And I love that you got to be my kickoff for season 3. Wait a minute. Is there a dog behind you in that picture?
There's 2 dogs in there.
Oh, I see it. Oh, if you're on YouTube, look at these cute little dogs. Oh, they're big dogs, but
100 pounds each. Yeah. But that's
oh,
my Zeppelin, and then Zach is got his head down, and my husband
oh,
gave me that picture as a present a couple years ago. And
oh, that's
I'm
so
an animal.
sweet.
I mean, I'm still a little girl. In my office is just animals everywhere, just like it used to be when I was a little kid. So
I love it. I love it. When you were having your group circle, circle time, the dogs and the cats. I love it. Well, thank you so much for getting carried away with me. Please like, subscribe, comment, send all the things, share with your friends, follow Andrea, follow me at Bra Network. It's actually at bra_network, but you probably already are if you're listening to this. Stay tuned for episode 2 coming out in 2 weeks. Thank you, Andrea.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Perfect.